welcome back to Peaks 47. So you've joined me at a very early stage in the planning of my road going over to my station. So I thought I'd just show you my draft that I've got currently at the minute. So we'll have the road coming from this corner. This may be horizontal, and then we'll be having seafoam arched over the lane to disguise it. All this area will be built up with the modelling sheet. The road will come over this bridge. That will be a project possibly in another video, I'm not sure yet. This will be the lane that will continue down here. Now I've oversized it at the minute, so that gives me enough room to put some dry stone walls in possibly and let it meander slightly, which will then come onto the same textured sort of road, like quite a loose gravel on this darker wood here. There'll be a fence along here. This will be a cutting that drops off down here, so this will be the platform and this will be a road. This road will continue along here. This again will be a cutting with lots of rockfall along this siding here, and then this level will continue round to possibly the goods crane will be on here, so there'll be a bit of a, I've got to bring all this up yet. This will be a road that will come to here, and then all this will drop off to this level into a landscape, and then we'll work on the landscape in that back corner as well. So I'm going to continue on just planning my road layout, start getting some of it fixed in place, and then I think I probably need to get the bridge finished and in position before I can work out anything else. So the first thing I'll probably need to do is fill this with some plaster cloth or something similar, just to lose these bolt heads and give me something smooth to work on this bit here. Then I can put the Slaters dress stone on this inside edge, and then on this outside edge weather it up, put the arch in, get the bridge in, and then I think I need to work around that bridge to get everything to tie in. So these are the products I'm going to be using for the builds I've just shown you. So they're all from Slaters. So we've got this paving slab first of all, really thin. I think it's about 2mm thick, if that. That's what I'm going to be using on the platform edge. So here's the platform here. So this will be cut to shape. Not sure which way I'm putting the slabs yet, that way or that way. And then the dressed stone here that you can see will be used on the edge of the platform. And then I've got this 7mm embossed stuff as well, which is what I'll be using on the humpback bridge. So all being well, I can make a good paint job of that, really pick up the mortar with some sort of grout, put some different colours on all this stonework. Hopefully that should work really well. So this is actually 7mm scale rather than 4mm. It seems to be better for your bigger structures. It's just a slightly bigger stone, so I think that should fit in quite well. So this is where my inspiration has come to use some slab work, as you can see on this station here. I'm not sure what platform this is, but I'm pretty sure it's from Millersdale. This is from my Into the Peak Volume 2 book, so this is perfect for me as a reference. I think it's just going to give it a little bit more detail and a bit more interest doing this. So as you can see, I need to put the slabs in this direction against the platform. So I've cut all the Slaters down now from the platforms. I've used some offcuts on the end, so I've got a bit of a gap here, but I'll be able to blend this in as if the path goes a little bit further. So one thing I just wanted to point out is at the end you don't always get a full slab. So I've trimmed this side down, so I've got a full slab ending that one, and then cut this one, so you've got two slabs then that join together, and hopefully I can get away with this join here. This side doesn't matter so much because there'll either be a drop on here or this will be a cutting, depending on which side I'll be putting it. So I think I'm going to use PVA and weigh this down now overnight, and then perhaps that'll be my first job, is to paint these, weather them up and see what I can get them looking like. So I'm going to leave them with some house bricks over them just to keep them weighted down overnight now. I've used the straightest edge that came out of the packet for the either side of the rails. I don't think these joins are actually going to be too bad. Once they're filled and painted, I don't think you're going to see them. So I'm going to leave that overnight now, and then probably have a go at weathering them next. So I've been having a little bit of a play here with different methods, as you can see. So this first one is concrete dust and IPA, just rubbed on and then wiped off while it's wet. The next one that's left, some of them white, is the copper oxide. This I went a bit too mad wiping it with IPA rather than water, and it started washing off the emulsion, so this one I know hasn't worked. But I quite like this one here, which is the one I'm going to go for. So it's taken some attempts, but I think I've finally got a method that I'm happy with. So the first part of the process is put the weathering powder on. You can see the consistency of that. So that is about half black soot and half concrete dust, and then I've thinned it down with tap water to give it the same sort of consistency as a normal poster paint. And the idea is just to work it in between the slabs. You can see it's almost black, just got a little bit of a brown tinge to it. The black soot's got very strong pigments in it, so even though it's at half and half, it's more black. And then with a straight edge, I'm using a spreader card. You could use an old credit card or scraper. I am literally just scraping it off the top. Wipe the edge with the rag. Go over it again. Now at this stage, that is what I'm sort of looking for. So I'm going to apply that all over the platform now. Right, I've left that in the sun for less than 5 minutes. And it's dry now, and already I'm quite pleased with that. It's a little bit too weathered for my liking. So the next process is I'm going to use some 240 or maybe 320, and with a hard block I'm going to now sand over the top of this and try and clean some of the tops of the slabs up, and hopefully leave the grime in between the slab work. Okay, that's looking a bit better, a bit more of what I was looking for. It was really important, if if you're going to use this method, when you sand it, you just keep it in one direction, and it must be hard on a board or a block or a piece of wood. If you just use your fingers, the paper will go in between it and it will start cleaning out the low spots, which obviously is not what we want. So you've got to keep it in one direction. If you do it in all directions, how these slabs have weathered as they have, in these lines, if you do it in all directions, they would look quite scribbly, and I don't think that would look as natural. So I'm just going to add some weeds in a couple of places on this back edge. So this would be the siding back here, and the main lines would be this side. So where there's less foot activity, I figured I could break up the uniform a little bit. I'm just going to use some basing glue on a cocktail stick. I'm just going to put some glue in some random places, sprinkle some scatter over it, and just see if I can break it up a little bit more so it's a little bit less uniform. So I'm going to be using the olive scatter from WWS. It's very similar to the Woodland Scenic burnt grass turf. I'm going to try and sprinkle a little bit of that, and hopefully this will bite onto the grass, onto the glue, sorry, and just break it up a little bit. There we go, not too much, just some random bits going along all this back edge. And again, I think that will just help break up that slab work a little bit more. PVA that in and let that go off overnight, and then start weathering it, and that's not far off complete. So this facing stonework now is dry, so the first thing I want to do, as you can see I've started here already, is apply some magnolia emulsion, sort of stuff that you'd put on your walls. I always find this is a really good ground coat for weathering stonework. It's worked well in the past, so I feel there's no reason why it won't work in this instance as well. Once it dries, it goes like a really chalky sort of finish, which is great for it's great for taking weathering powders over the top of it. So I'm going to get all the magnolia on this, get it dry with a hairdryer, which is a couple of minutes, and then start using some weathering powders to try and get the desired effect I'm looking for. Right, so that's all the emulsion dry now. So next thing I'm going to do is just give it a quick dusting with this concrete dust. I seem to use this for everything really on the layout at the minute. I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the layouts built with either cocktail sticks or WWS concrete dust weathering powder. I just seem to get on with it really well. So I'm going to apply this dry, not using any IPA with it. And ideally I don't really want to be getting it inside my Dremel, but for the purpose of this video I'm not going to worry. So once I've give this a light coat, so it's all quite an even sort of brown colour. You can already see it's starting to sit in between the block work, which is what we want. Try and give it some detail. I'm not going to worry about these joins. I can cover them with Scenics or something like that afterwards when it's in situ. Depending on how bad it looks, I can adjust it when it's in on the layout. So once we've got this brown on, we're going to then use some of the black soot. I'm going to put this on a little bit lighter and a little bit more random, so a few splodges, and then spread it round so it's not quite as harsh. And once that's in place, we're going to seal that in with some lacquer, and I think you'll be quite surprised how much it changes. So I'm going to class that as done for now. Sure, I'll do a little bit more to it once it's in situ. Quite pleased with those facing bricks on the front. I'll try and disguise this join a little bit more once it's in situ. I've added a few more weeds along this back edge where there wouldn't have been a lot of activity on that site being the siding. The main line is going to be here, that's why I've left this a bit cleaner. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's helped out or gave you some tips. I welcome any of your comments, and I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be scratch building the humpback bridge, probably using similar methods to this. I'm not sure yet. Hope you can join me for that, and we'll speak soon. Cheers.